welcome to another in our one-on-one series where we feature individuals who have served in the public sphere and have made an impact nationally. I'm Joel Crosskill. My guest today is Chairman of the Jamaica Diaspora Education Task Force, Leo Gilling. Leo, thank you so much for joining us. A real pleasure having you here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's really my pleasure.
You flew in just for this?
I flew in just for this. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Fantastic. All right, you grew up in Aracabessa. What was your favorite thing about that environment?
Aracabessa, I love Aracabessa. It's all I talk about on Facebook, right? Aracabessa, a quaint town back during the days that I grew up. However, probably one of the richest little town on the North Coast and created a lot of wealth for England. That's where the banana ships would come in and they would stay about a half-mile out. We had two different wharves, United and Standard wharves, and we would come and see those little canoes going out and the barges going out and they're loaded with boxes of bananas going to the ship. And you know, it just leaves a nice impression on me as a child growing up to see all that buzzing going around. You see wives walking down at lunchtime with their little canister for their husbands with their lunches, and then the independent banana planters would bring trucks and carts of bananas taking to the boxing plants and debunching these bananas. I loved Aracabessa, and that's what I remember going up. But the other thing about Aracabessa is my dad brought my mom with us to Aracabessa in 1962, and I watched as my mom transformed from a housewife into a businesswoman. Those days we didn't call them higglers. She was a saleswoman. So she would come to Kingston with her dulcimina, right, and pack it up with stuff going down King Street. King Street was a buzzing place. Downtown Kingston was a buzzing place, lights and everything. And she would walk down King Street, buy her stuff, take back home. We go on Friday to the hotel at the back gate, and where all the employees would pass. She would just open up the grips. They come out and take stuff. And she would write it down in her book, her little book. You know, they owe me some money until next time, right? So at the fortnight, that's when they get paid. Yeah. At the fortnight, they would come out and bring their money, pay their bill, and take more stuff. I watched my mom. It was a model for me as a businessman. Yes. A model for me. She used that grip, bought 2 cars. The business grew from one day to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'd go all around St. Mary's selling clothing and perfumes and stuff to different residents.
What a fantastic story. All right, you've told us a little bit about your mother, but tell us a little bit about your father. He was a chef, but interestingly enough, you rarely ever got to taste his cooking. What was that about?
Well, it must be a man thing, right? that he wanted, mom to run the house and him run things, right? Yeah. So my dad, I've never tasted my dad's hand. And my dad started a business in Montego Bay back in the 50s, where before patties were popular.
Really?
He would make something called baba ribba. It is the same thing as a meatloaf.
Really?
So he would cook little chunks of chicken and beef and put it in a cocoa bread.
Really?
And put it in the pan and bicycle down Montego Bay selling Baba Ribba.
Wow, Baba Ribba.
That's his name. They gave him that name off of that thing.
Baba Ribba.
Baba Ribba. I need to bring that back.
Yeah, man, you should. That sounds tasty.
Yes.
All right, you would go to school at Aracabessa Secondary. Tell us about when you thought you passed your exams.
Joel, I grew up, I believe, one of the brightest kids in my community. Hands down, I didn't go less than 5th in a class, from A class, which is grade 1, all the way to grade 6. I did really well. My mom paid for extra lessons. I mean, she didn't help me really with, because she wasn't as good as a teacher, but I helped myself.
Yes.
And so by the time I got to grade 6, when I took my exams, my common entrance exam, I thought I passed that hands down. I could remember all the questions. That's how I remember that exam the day I took it.
Yeah.
And so when I took that exam, when time came for the results, I didn't bother to look because I knew that I was going to the one high school in St. Mary High that was fed by almost 44 primary schools, right?
Wow.
And so I knew that I was going to high school. I didn't pass.
Didn't pass.
And that took me down. Yeah. By the time I got to grade 7, education didn't mean anything to me.
Wow.
Right? And so in grade 7, there were 43 of us. I came 42nd out of 43 kids.
Wow.
That's how bad I did.
You were discouraged. You were completely discouraged.
Totally discouraged. Jeez. Totally discouraged. But, you know, didn't stay down. Once I moved to grade 8, they put me in 8C. I was always in A stream, yes. Right? They put me in 8C. Within the first semester, they had to put me back in A because that was
You're mashing up the class.
Yes. But this was a call to action for me.
Yeah.
You know, at grade 7 coming 42, that was unknown for me, right? And so they put me back in A stream. I ended school on top of my class.
But it's amazing that back then education was seemingly only for the elite. Only a select group of people were allowed to go through to high school. That's strange.
I think there were only 6 places in my primary school that were available for students to go to 6. And we had about 50 or 60 students in our class. And my mom, as I said, was just a saleswoman. But she wasn't a nurse, she wasn't a doctor or a lawyer. And those kids went.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I'm actually glad to see PEP, because PEP is what has seemed to be transforming the students who are underserved into high school. I really like the idea.
All right, we only have a minute before our break, but just give us a breakdown of why you think PEP is an advantage over what came before.
Well, you know, during our time, only a small amount of students get into traditional. Now we have non-traditional high schools and we have traditional high schools, right? Okay, so that's still a separatist approach to education. What PEP, I believe, is doing, it's offering an opportunity for students, to everybody, to get a chance to go to any high school that is out there. And I hope that based on what I see, that it shouldn't matter that you are from a rich family that you're going to go to Campion, but rather that you have done the work that will help you to get there. And that not because most students, or not most students, a lot of students are traveling outside of their area and going into schools that are traditionally, you know, look at this. How many years have Immaculate, Campion, Westwood, these schools are on top of the top 10 for 50 years?
Yes.
Every year is the same? Isn't something wrong with that?
All right, we're going to pick that up on the other side. We're one-on-one with Leo Gilling, chairman of the Jamaica Diaspora Education Task Force. Join us after the break.